Hi there, good afternoon. You've tuned into ET now, and this is Market Fatafat with me, Shell D'Souza. Along with me, I will have Shrishti Sharma joining in very shortly. Let's take a look at what the markets are doing right now, and we've given up all of the morning gains. As you can see it on your screen, Nifty is down about 0.4% from the day's highest point. Is Nifty Bank that's taking a sharper knock as we speak. 0.5% downtick coming in for Nifty Bank, and substantial losses coming in from the day's highest point. Talking about the broader markets, you had mid-cap index also a short while ago. That one also slipped into the negative territory. So there you go. Mid-cap index as well is at the day's lowest point. Let's take a look at what small cap is also doing right now. 19% downtick coming in for mid-cap index from the day's point. Small cap index as well actually now in the negative territory. So yes, we have given up those early gains that we had seen for the benchmark indices. Remember, today was the 7th consecutive session that the benchmarks were holding on to the positive territory. Talking about the list of losers and the gainers right now, you have the auto pack that is actually seeing a sharper knock, especially the two-wheeler players. So you have Eicher Motors that's down about 2.5%. You have Bajaj Autos that's down 2% or so. Hero Motor is down about 1.5%. You also have Adani Enterprises that's actually given up all of its morning gains. In fact, it's a sharp knock coming in for Adani Enterprises. That right now, as you can see, 3% downtick coming in for that particular counter. At one point in time, it was up approximately 4% or 5% or so. NTPC also is other stock that is declining in trade. While on the flip side, on the gaining end of the market, you have the tech pack that is holding strong. So you have LTI, Mindtree, Wipro among the top gainers. ITC, Nestle as well as TCS. What's very key to note, Shrishti, right now is the fact that the advanced decline ratio right now has actually tilted in the favor of the decline. So yes, that's the way how the markets are looking like right now, off the day's highest point, sharply off the day's highest point when it comes to Nifty Bank.
Well, that's how the markets are panning out. Thank you so much for that, Cheryl. But with this, let's move on and let's welcome on board our team of researchers as well as our technical expert. We are being joined by Sumeet Mulchhandani from Vighnahara Investment, as well as on the research side, welcome on board Ankita as well as Ashesha. But with this, let's start highlighting all the counters that are in focus, and let me start with the first stock then, and that is Jubilant Ingrevia on the stock, because this particular counter is in focus on the back of Incred report, where they maintain their reduced rating on this particular stock and have cut the target price to 364 rupees from 374 rupees earlier. What they are highlighting is that the falling demand for Jubilant Ingrevia's product, there is pain in the life sciences division, and that continues going ahead as well, and there are multiple headwinds going ahead. Cyclical recovery is far away, and on the back of that, they have also reduced the target price marginally, but reduce is the rating was they have maintained, and the stock is also trading in the red as of now with a cuts of 0.6%.
All right, let's shift focus. Let's talk about JSW Infra, and that particular counter is in focus in today's trading session. You have JM Financial that's come up with a note on JSW Infra, and because of that, the stock has hit a record high level right now. Remember that this one is a very recently listed counter as well. JM Financial is saying that the company's acquisition of PNP Maritime Services can expand its capacity from 5 million tons per annum, that's MTPA, to about 19 MTPA. They're saying also that the acquisition is in line with company's strategy to expand third-party cargo operations. Therefore, they're maintaining a buy stance. They've hiked the target price to around 255 rupees per share from 250 rupees per share. And they're saying that the new target actually represents a 12.3% premium to the stock's last closing price. And as you can see it on your screen right now today, the stock is trading higher by about 5%. At one point in time, hit a record high as well.
Okay, moving on, and let's shift focus to Gujarat Pipavav. This particular counter is on your radar, Sumit, and holding good gains of around 4.5% today, and also in the past 6 months, the stock has zoomed 36%. What's next on chart?
Hi, good afternoon to all. So yes, we can say from the previous swing low, it was almost around the levels of 70 in June 22, and if we see the weekly, it has almost doubled the stock. But currently, if you check, it has a retest candidate. 120 was the previous resistance level, and now it takes a support and crossing the new highs of a new weekly high also. So we are expecting a further high. If anybody has a view of 3 to 6 months, can hold for the target levels of 186 and 212. One can keep a stop loss of 135 here. So if you count the risk reward ratio, that is around 1:2, 1:4.
All right, Ashesha, coming to you then, Angel One. Why is this one in focus today?
Well, yes, very strong operational data for the month of November is why the stock is gaining in trade today. In fact, it's soaring 7.5% higher in trade as we speak, slightly off the day's highest point. Average daily orders stood at about 5.4 million in the month of November, which is an uptick of a little over 1% on a month-on-month basis, but it rose by 59% on a year-on-year basis. As far as their client base is concerned, it stood at 18.5 million at the end of 30th of November, which is an uptick of 3.8% on a month-on-month basis. Remember, their market share also rose both on a month-on-month and on a year-on-year basis. An average daily turnover saw an uptick of 9% on a month-on-month basis. So very strong operational data for the month gone by, and hence the stock is gaining in trade today.
Okay, moving on, and Sumit, this counter is also on your radar. Ashesha just highlighted what's the fundamental reason, but how the chart's looking like?
The chart is also looking good, and if you see, the previous volume candle was on the 15th of November. That day the high was around 3090. So after that the stock was in the consolidation but unable to break its previous support level. So as of now, one can hold, or if anybody wants to make a new position, can utilize the dips till the levels of 3000. So we would just advise a stop loss of 2900 here. We are expecting the targets of 3490 and 3667.
All right, Ankita, coming to you. Let's talk about Honasa Consumer, and why is this one in focus today?
Yes, Honasa is in focus today, and it is coming on the back of a block deal that has happened. Now, Fireside Venture Investment Fund 1, the alternative investment fund, has offloaded 230 crores worth of shares in Honasa Consumers. It is, of course, the parent company of Mama Earth. As per the block deal data available on the exchanges, Fireside has sold some 60.88 lakh shares in Honasa at an average price of 378 rupees per share. Now, Fireside held 2.43 crore shares, which is equivalent to 7.5% stake or paid up equity in Honasa as of September 2023. However, Norges Bank, on account of the government pension fund Global, has bought some of these shares. They've purchased 24.98 lakh shares in Honasa, and that has been bought at an average price of 378 rupees per share. And on the back of that, we see Honasa up a good more than 3.5% or 4% in trade today.
All right, moving on, let's talk about EKI Energy, and that particular counter is in focus because they've said that the company and IOC have actually formalized MOU to promote Surya Nutan, and that's IOC's innovative indoor solar cooking system. EKI Energy said this in a filing today. They've also said that under the MOU, Indian Oil will actually share the technology of Surya Nutan with EKI Energy Services to enhance its production and distribution, supported by carbon finance, while contributing towards the betterment of society and environment. This is what the company actually said in its stock exchange filing. They also said that EKI Energy Services will oversee the end-to-end management of Surya Nutan, and that's one of the reasons why, as you can see it on your screen, the stock is soaring in trade. 4.5% uptake right now for EKI Energy.
Okay, moving on, let's shift focus to Asian Paints. Then this particular counter was seen to be holding itself in the green, and a couple of brokerage note on this one, wherein Macquarie has come up with its note maintaining the outperform rating with a target price of 3,800 rupees. They are saying that the company is focusing on budget end to outgrow the market. They reiterate double-digit volume growth expectation for the second half of current financial year, and also in the next 5 to 7 years, they intend to launch differentiated offerings in the budget end and gain share from the unorganized players. And they also believe that Grasim needs to focus on the brand development, as customer paints once in 6 to 7 years and now able to determine the pricing in retail waterproofing market given its leadership position. Also, UBS has also come out with a note reiterating their buy stance with their new target price implying that 25% upside, and have raised the target from 3,800 rupees earlier to 3,900 rupees. And on the back of these brokerage notes, Asian Paints is in focus, holding up a gains of 0.6%. But with this, let's move on to the next counter then. And Sumit, Ultratech Cement on the charts. Just a couple of days back, the stock was seen at its all-time high levels. Are you still bullish on this one?
Yeah, you can say there are the two scenarios. First, obviously it is bullish because in the daily time frame it has given a breakout on the a rising wedge formation. So it is a bullish counter, so one can utilize because the market has given a 1000 point rally in the last 8 to 10 sessions. So might see some profit booking, but we would just advise to keep a trailing and strict stop loss of 8870 here. So till the levels of 9000, if we are getting the dip, just utilize. Upside we have an expectation of around 9900 from here.
Used to be bullish on Ultratech Cement, but Ashesha, coming to you, and one such space that is seeing spectacular gains today is fertilizer stocks. Tell us what's the buzz here.
Well, yes, all fertilizer stocks are gaining in trade today. The likes of RCF, the stock is up nearly 6.8%. Fact, in fact, is locked an upper circuit of about 10% today. Two separate news pieces over here. One, China is considering quota system for urea exports in 2024. This could perhaps increase prices in the global market. This move could help increase cost for importers in India, and hence it is a positive for domestic fertilizer producers. Apart from this, there's a subsidy angle as well, where the government of India is increasing subsidy for fertilizers to counter rising global prices. 22,300 crore subsidy was announced for the current Rabi season earlier, and now government seeks additional allocation of about 13,351 crores for fertilizer subsidy. So two separate news pieces, both of them being positive for all of these fertilizer stocks. We see RCF and Fact and all of these counters gaining in trade today.
Well, great news on all these fertilizer stocks. But with this, it's time to slip into a very short break. Viewers, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. You're watching Market Fatafat on ET Now, and just before we hit the break, we spoke about why fertilizer counters are in focus. And Sumit, you also have Chambal Fert in your coverage right now today. Talking about the stock, how is it looking on the charts to you? Do you think that the run-up that it's seen will continue going ahead?
Yes, as per the technicals, it has broken its previous resistance of 330. So we would just advise to keep a stop loss. If anybody is holding the stock, keep a stop loss of 320. Now there is a small hurdle nearby the levels of 355 to 360 zone. So if on the closing basis we are getting the close above the 360 levels, then the gates are open for the 460 to 515 levels. So we would just advise to hold the stock for the time frame of approximately 3 to 6 months.
Okay, moving on then, Ankita, shifting focus to iron exchange. Tell us, why is this counter is in focus?
Well, yes, iron exchange is in focus today, and it is on the back of the fact that the ICC tribunal has delivered the arbitration award. What has happened is, let's quickly recall what really happened. Ethigen Inc. had filed an arbitration claim of around 150 crore rupees for damages against the company at the International Chamber of Commerce, alleging the wrongful termination and breach of terms of the agreement of iron exchange. But the ICC tribunal has delivered the arbitration award, wherein the ICC tribunal has rejected Ethigen's claim for damages against iron exchange, and also rejected all the other claims and all the parties concerned. And on the back of this news flow, we do see iron exchange is going to be in focus today.
All right, moving on then, let's talk about IDFC First Bank, Sumit. There was a patch where everybody would pick this particular counter as one of their top picks when it comes to the financial space. Does that or is that stance still maintained when it comes to IDFC First Bank after a bit of consolidation? Do you think now you can look at the stock afresh?
Yes, the stock has shown some profit booking, and from the levels of 100 till the levels of almost 80 to 82 levels. But it has taken a perfect support. If we see the swing move, if you plot the Fibonacci level, so 38.2 is the most important support level, and stock has taken a perfect support. So after that, a new channel has been formed. A higher high, higher low formation is there, and today the stock is again forming the new higher high. A trend line breakout is also there, and the previous swing of 89 level is broken yesterday, and today it is going for a new high. So we would just advise to accumulate this stock and utilize all the dips till the levels of 85. So below the 85, if the stock is giving us the closing basis, then only it will be on the exit level. So again, it is a round bottom candidate. So 100 will be the first level, and if the 100 is on the closing basis, then 115 will be the next target we are expecting.
Alright, moving on, let's talk about Indian Metals and Ferro Alloys, also known as IMFA. That particular counter has hit a fresh record high levels in today's trading session. As you can see, the stock did spike in between, and that was almost 8%, taking the stock to a record high of 572.6 rupees per share. The stock also posted its sharpest intraday jump since September 25th. Now it's cooled off from those elevated levels. The company informed the exchanges that the Coal Ministry has determined valuation of compensation of freehold and leasehold land at around 353 crore rupees to the company's unit. And on back of that, you can see the stock saw a good sharp spike. Now it's cooled off with the rest of the markets.
Okay, moving on then, and Sumit, shifting focus to Shyam Metallics. Tell us, how is this stock looking like?
Again, with the time frame of higher time frame on the weekly, so the stock has given the flag and pole breakout. It was in the consolidation from August till the current December month, but this week it has crossed and almost giving the closing also. So utilize again the same. We would just advise to utilize the dips. Current market price is around 510. 470 will be the stop loss. Target can be 590 to 615.
Okay, moving on then, let's focus to what Madhuri Specialty Chemicals is doing. This particular stock is in focus on the back of a very interesting announcement by the company, where they say they're going to be setting up lithium-ion battery component factory, and they have planned an investment worth 4,800 crore rupees for this one, and this will be made largely from the internal accruals as well as the balance sheet. The balance will be funded through debt. So that's the interesting announcement. They're going to be producing 2 lakhs million ton per annum of lithium iron phosphate cathode active material, catering to 100 gigawatt hours of lithium ion battery in a phased manner. This capex will take around 5 to 6 years, and with this they are the first commercial plant for LFP cathode active material in India to cater to the domestic as well as global market. A pioneering step towards Atmanirbhar Bharat is what the company has highlighted. On the back of this announcement, the stock is in focus, holding a gains of 3.6%.
Alright, moving on, Ashesha, let's talk about two-wheeler majors. We did speak about them at the start of the show, that all of them are actually see a sharp downturn. Be Eicher Motors, Bajaj Auto as well as Hero MotoCorp. And why is that?
Well, yes, all of these counters are in focus on the back of a CLSA report that has come in this morning, where they've gone ahead and downgraded 3 of these auto majors. For Eicher Motors, they've downgraded to underperform from their earlier buy rating. They've also gone ahead and cut their target price from 4,252 to 4,129 rupees per share. For Bajaj Auto as well, they've downgraded it to underperform from outperform. They've hiked target price marginally to 6,382. TVS Motor, meanwhile, they are maintaining their sell stance on the stock, and they've hiked their target price marginally from 1206 to 1378 rupees per share. They say stocks are fairly valued, led by the sharp run-up that we've seen in all of these stocks in the last couple of trading sessions. Recovery in volume growth is seen in the two-wheeler segment, while affordable electric two-wheeler companies' margins are expected to decline in the coming quarters. They expect premium motorcycles to grow faster in the coming couple of quarters. So on the back of this report that has come in from CLSA this morning, all these two-wheeler counters are in focus.
Well, yes, two-wheeler counters are in focus as well as facing the downward pressure today. But Sumit, Bajaj Auto is the stock that you have picked up. Are you also spotting any breakdowns in this one?
Not as of now, but as we say, precaution is better than cure. So in our technical levels, we have stop loss. So 5950, this will be the strict stop loss for the stock. As per the technicals, it has formed an inside bar Harami pattern, that is a bearish pattern for the stock. So today the stock is also the open high candidate, but the levels of 5950 will act as an stop loss. On the closing basis, if we are getting the 5950 broken, then we are expecting a more further downside till the levels of 5750 and 5580. So keep a strict stop loss here.
Alright, that's what Sumit is spotting when it comes to Bajaj Auto. But on that note, we slip into a break on this edition of Market Fatafat. When we come back, we'll continue to take you through all the stocks buzzing. Don't go anywhere.